Welcome back to Mecha Rewatch, Gundam Wing Edition. We have arrived at episodes 8 and 9 for this particular go-around. I'm Cossak, and with me as always is Lawn Dragon.
Hi.
And some episodes happened. Not
Good
bad episodes.
Yeah, not bad.
Still not to the heights of episode 7 though.
But continuing on our action-oriented track, we
Absolutely.
only briefly go to school.
Yeah.
Very briefly.
Very
It's fine.
briefly.
It's a little weird, but it's
Yeah, it is. So, we have a few things to discuss. We have a new opening blurb.
We do have a new opening blurb.
Complete with new stock footage and everything.
Yeah, a less confusing opening blurb, to be
Yeah.
honest.
Yeah, it basically...
It just kind of recaps the last
Yeah.
episodes.
Yeah. Specifically, the last episode.
Yeah. Arguably, it explains the last 7 episodes more succinctly than those 7 episodes did.
Yeah. It was definitely more succinct and clarified.
Yeah. In case you didn't get it.
Yeah, in case you haven't figured out where we are in the plot here, Oz, the organization that it turns out the Gundams were actually sent down to Earth to fight, not the Earth Alliance,
Yes.
has taken center stage, to quote the blurb.
Mm-hmm. It's true.
And Oz has launched a series of coups d'etats all over the planet. Their motivations for such are varied.
Well, we get an explanation of what their motivation is supposed to be.
Yeah, I don't think we get it in this episode. I think that's the next episode.
Next episode.
Yeah, because this episode we're still dealing with the aftermath of the New Edwards attack.
Correct. This episode is mostly just, like, coup cleanup.
Yeah,
The next few episodes will be, actually.
Yeah, the next few episodes will be a lot of coup cleanup. Starting with a ongoing firefight at New Edwards Base between... It's nighttime now. It was daytime when they attacked.
They've been fighting for a while. We can assume that meeting was in the afternoon or even evening.
Yeah, it's
Generals don't have their big meetings at 7 a.m.
No.
So, sure, it's been a few hours.
Yeah, it's been at least a few hours. But there's an ongoing firefight between Heavy Arms and the rest of the Gundams. Although specifically it showcases in this scene Heavy Arms and Gundam Shenlong.
Yeah.
I almost forgot what it was called because we never mentioned the name of that
never.
Gundam. Which, notably, nobody ever calls it Shenlong in the series either, because the only person who ever refers to this Gundam is Wu Fei, the pilot of this Gundam, and he refers to it as Nitaku.
Yes.
Which I believe is like some mythical warrior.
Probably.
Anyway. Troa and Wu Fei just break into a hangar that has infrared.
It has infrared, so it has like lasers coming down from the ceiling. Very like spy movie, Steal the Diamond. A heist movie, I guess. But
for its carrier.
But they're on the like suit carrier planes, and then they're high explosives, and Wu Fei is just like, explosives can't hurt me, and then runs through the laser, and they start exploding, and they steal the carriers.
Yeah.
It's not, the explosives don't
seem to
do anything.
Yeah, why do you have them? And
because you would think, okay, so they don't kill the person who steps through the laser. Yeah. Sure, but you would think they would destroy the planes.
Yes. That's the weirder part.
Or collapse the hangar, or prevent the planes from taking off by damaging the runway. But no, none of that. They just take the planes off. It's fine.
Yeah, they leave.
This scene is totally pointless. We just see some explosions.
Well, I mean, Troa and Wu Fei leave. This is the beginning of them leaving. We then cut to Duo and Ketra, who are attempting to retreat.
Well, it's Duo, Ketra, and Hiro.
Well, Hiro's there
Duo
too.
and Ketra...
I was getting to Hiro. Because Duo and Ketra are attempting to retreat. Hiro is not attempting to retreat. Hiro is currently still in the middle of his heroic blue screen of death. Yeah. Sitting kind of in shell shock still in the middle of the battlefield.
Very upset that he screwed up. And he's just kind of standing there. It's really good that Leos can't hit anything. Because they would hit, there are bullets flying past him, but
lots of bullets
not hitting him. So That's good. They can't hit a stationary target the size of a building.
Yeah, they may need to recalibrate their targeting system.
That's true. It's just...
They have them set to...
This will be consistent for Leos throughout the show. They just can't hit anything.
Specifically Leos, too, because, like, when they introduce... Because they do introduce, like, a kind of new grunt suit that takes over the role of the enemy grunt suit later on. And it hits things.
Hits things a lot. And Leos can hit each other.
Like, other grunt suits, but they just can't hit named characters.
No, ever.
No.
Even when they're, again, standing stationary. Right? It's not like he's moving or dodging. He's just standing there.
Yeah. So we cut to... from there, we go to a fleet where Treize and Lady Un have landed in their trapdoor superjet that looks like a NASA shuttle.
It sure does.
But they land on a cruise ship.
Well, because it is space capable, so that scans.
And they land on a cruise ship.
Yes.
That is in the middle of this military fleet.
And Treize just gives Lady Un the orders to take care of the Gundams at New Edwards Base.
And she is excited about this order.
Yeah, she's like, oh, I get to kill
a lot of people.
She enjoys the killing.
It would seem so.
Very Xenia on a top vibes for anyone who's seen GoldenEye.
No.
Even though that comes after this.
I was thinking that too.
She gets off on the killing.
She seems to, at least, yeah. And we cut back to the base, a different base, actually. I don't think it's New Edwards base. It's like a different base.
Yeah, there's a different
nearby.
base, and she orders them to, like, remote detonate the missiles.
The missiles that we had no idea were even at New Edwards until now.
Look, every military base has missiles.
That's fair.
It's just...
These missiles are special missiles, though. They are large missiles.
They're the large. They do repeatedly call them the large missiles.
Yeah.
Which,
and they almost, like, to the point where they capitalize the large. Like, that's actually just the name of the missiles.
But we hear what kind of missile they are, because later, it's not large missile. They have some weird designate XO3 something or other. Yeah. But yes, everyone just calls them the large missiles.
These are nuclear missiles. They have to be.
We presume... They say later that there will be a blast radius of, like, 300 kilometers. So... They have to be nuclear. And the way that they're treated, the way that there's, like, a launch sequence and a countdown and stuff, they're in silos. They're not in silos, but they have silo doors. So they're nuclear missiles. They just... I don't know why they don't say nuclear missiles, but they're nuclear missiles.
Well, you know, it's probably because of two things.
Sure.
One, because the show was probably written... Well, wasn't made... in the 80s, but it was written probably in the late 80s when the specter of nuclear war was still a thing.
Okay.
And in Japan in particular, where nuclear weapons are a bit of a sensitive thing still.
True.
And then probably they didn't think about it when they translated it over.
Yeah, maybe.
English.
Yeah, maybe the Japanese works a little better. Maybe they don't just call them the large missiles.
It's possible. It might be worth going back and checking. So that order goes through. Then we cut to Sally Poe, who I haven't seen in a while.
Yeah.
She was, if you'll recall, she was the officer at the Alliance military hospital that Hiro and Duo broke out of.
Yeah.
And they intercept an Oz transmission that they are going to blow the nukes.
That they're going to detonate the large missiles. Which... Either Oz has terrible OPSEC or Alliance SIGINT is real good.
Because I could believe the Gundams intercepting Oz transmissions. Yeah. I could believe that, because sure, they're super high-tech, whatever. Right?
I could also believe that Treize just...
doesn't care.
Didn't switch their communications protocols when he launched his Q, and they're just still on Alliance comms.
I mean, it's distinctly possible. It's very Treize.
We will find out in the next episode that comms with, like, the between the Alliance bases have been, like, jammed.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe he really is just using the Alliance communication network. It's entirely possible. And this plane is just still keyed in because it's not a major base that they knew to cut off.
It's possible, yeah, for sure. So Duo begins securing the escape route. He has acquired a carrier.
Yeah.
And Ketra asks him to acquire another carrier for Hiro.
He mentions that Hiro's mech is probably low on fuel, which is, I think, the first time we've heard that they use fuel. Also, apparently that's, I guess, only a concern for Wing Gundam?
Maybe
it's not even clear if it is low on fuel. Ketra just thinks it might be.
Well, maybe for its, like, ground effect thrusters that it uses.
Yeah, it needs special fuel for flying. Again, we don't even know that that's actually true. We just know that Ketra thinks it might be. Ketra doesn't know anything about Wing Gundam.
No.
Maybe he's just guessing. Maybe, because I don't think this will ever come up as a plot point ever again. There's never fuel.
I'm fairly certain it will not.
It's entirely possible Ketra's just wrong.
It is distinctly possible. Ketra, as we will see, will be wrong about many things in the future. Although, in this episode, he does showcase...
He's a bit of a tactician. He knows what's going on.
He has at least a logical and rational train of thought when it comes to military operations, which is not something that can be said for most of the other Gundam pilots.
I would credit him with staying calm in a crisis, but they all stay overly calm at all times, so...
Yeah. Anyway, meanwhile, Sally knocks Hiro out of his funk by basically saying, "Hey, they're gonna detonate some nukes."
She gets on the loud.
Well, notably,
first she runs in and she runs in on the Oz guys who are detonating the missiles.
Okay, because notably, this is also what's confusing. Because Lady Young's like, you can remote detonate these from the base that you're at, but then it shows these guys legit pressing a big red button at the New Edwards base.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe she means remote detonate, like you don't have to go to each missile and detonate it.
That's possible. Maybe those guys.
It also makes the orders she gave them a little bit weirder because she basically is ordering them to die.
Because there's no way they can escape that.
Right? Yeah, they're just gonna die. And they seem totally chill with this. This will come back for Oz later, but they're totally ready to just be killed.
Yeah,
by this.
They like everyone who has joined Oz apparently has a death wish.
Or is just willing to die for the cause.
Yeah, sure.
And has been told by the hot second in command lady to die, and they're like, that's fine.
Yeah. So yeah, Hiro takes off in his fighter form.
Yeah.
Despite ostensibly being low on fuel.
Right. Again.
But I mean, it's a short hop. He's only going like a couple hundred meters.
I don't think he's low on fuel. I don't think Wing Gundam uses fuel. I don't think any of them use fuel. Ketra's just wrong.
Anyway, he then uses his Gundam to crack open the top of one of the silos.
Cracks open a silo and jumps down into... Again, silo is weird. It's not... There's no shaft. It's just a silo door over a hangar.
He cracks open a silo door into the missile storage room.
Well, it's this underground hangar with all these vertical missiles with no supports, just kind of standing there in the room
with like a seemingly random array of catwalks.
Yeah, there's some catwalks to go between them. And again, each one is like beneath a silo door, so that they can like launch out of the desert. It seems to be a hidden, hardened facility. I mean, the silo door, like his sword, he has to Qui-Gon Jinn through the door by like melting it.
Yeah, he doesn't just slash through it like they do so many battleships.
Yeah, it is apparently stronger than a battleship. So that's fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's gonna...
Okay, actually, it could be that he's got a lower power setting on his sword. Because he's worried that if he over-penetrates with the sword, he'll set one of the missiles off, which will presumably set the rest off.
Sure.
No.
It's just the silo doors are stronger than a battleship.
Sure. Anyway, so he pries open the door and then jumps down and uses a grappling hook.
Yeah.
A magnetic grappling hook.
To, arrest his fall and land on the ground. Because it's a longer... These are really tall missiles. They're, like, the longest missiles.
Yeah, they're super long missiles.
They're super long missiles.
they're, like, 3 or 4 stories tall.
Yeah, again, they're some kind of weird...
with no supports.
Multi-warhead. Yeah, the weird... Yeah, they don't have it. Again, if these were in tubes, right, like vertical launch tube, totally reasonable. But they're not. They're just weird. Like,
they're freestanding, very tall.
Clearly,
missiles.
No one who made this, they had heard of nuclear missiles, but they had never seen like a nuclear missile. And this is what they think they're like.
Yeah. They never. Now it should be noted they never outright state these are nukes.
No. They just say large missiles, and they give a blast radius that is like, well, it's either a nuclear weapon or like some sort of antimatter missile, because it's a gigantic blast.
Because like
and like detonating underground too. This isn't some kind of airburst.
No,
right?
Because they're not launching them.
They're just detonating them. So
yeah,
they have to be nuclear.
Mm-hmm. It's the only way that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Or they carry a lot of fuel. That's why they're so long.
Yeah, there's only like a tiny little.
Okay, so wait, but maybe because these missiles probably aren't surface-to-surface missiles for hitting other places on Earth. They're probably for hitting space targets.
Yeah.
Right? One presumes that these missiles are for, like, if we need to blow a colony up. Right? Now, that's still probably nuclear. But, like...
But, yeah.
They probably do have a lot of fuel. I don't think it doesn't matter in the face of a nuclear blast,
because Hiro diffuses the missile.
Yeah, Hiro gets down there. He has to crawl through, like, a duct and then pry open some, like, electrified bars that he just... like,
does barehanded.
He barehanded pries these bars apart, and they have, like, a little electricity effect on them. Like they were electrified, and he just doesn't care.
Yeah.
And then he pulls a lever, and that deactivates all the missiles.
Yeah.
For some... I'm not going to get started on why their missile detonation sequence is controlled by a lever in a duct.
Yeah, well, there's also... This is where I feel like we should bring up a discussion that we had before we started watching these 2 episodes, which is the sound effects.
Yeah.
Because
this show has about 5 sound effects.
They reuse the Gundam car alarm for the alarm for missiles about to detonate. There is
one alarm sound effect. There is one like sword shing sound effect. There is one like gunfire sound effect. There's one like thing flies past you sound effect.
And there's one like transformation.
It was an explosion sound effect.
There's like that sound effect when like Wing Gundam is transforming.
But yeah, they have a library of sound effects. I don't think it's more than 10.
And I think most of them were pulled from the original Mobile Suit Gundam.
Yeah, it's probably just whatever the studio had, right?
Yeah,
they just reuse them.
They reuse animations a lot here too.
It's cartoons from the 90s. They're saving money wherever they can.
Yeah.
If you don't have to bring in the sound guys to slap more mayonnaise bread together to make sound effects. If you don't know how sound effects are made, it's often very, very funny. There's all kinds of what is this actual sound? It's actually somebody cutting a watermelon in half with a buzzsaw.
Well, all the bone snapping sound effects in Mortal Kombat are literally they are taking bell peppers and crunching them in a variety of ways.
It's crunching bell peppers. Sound effect generation is wild.
Yep. Foley is an interesting career path.
Yeah, sure is.
So, yeah, Hiro deactivates the bombs. Notably, during this whole sequence, there is a lot of, like, Sally apparently has an excessive amount of, like, respect for Hiro.
Well, yeah, I mean,
she did see him fall off a cliff and then get up like nothing happened.
And also,
she doesn't know that he broke his leg in that.
No, and also, like, rip himself out of a...
Yeah. She does see him do some, like, Bionic Man
and,
shit.
like, heal his wounds in a day like Wolverine. You know. Normal mech pilot stuff.
what's really funny is that she then just assumes that all the Gundam pilots are like that.
She does, which is funny, because they're not. It's
No.
a specific Hiro Yui thing.
Yeah. So we go back to Treize's fleet, where Lady Une is apologizing that...
And she's like, oh, I didn't get the Gundams. And he's like, how did you plan to get the Gundams? Keep in mind, he gave her no instruction on how to do it. He just said, do it.
Yeah.
And she's like, I was going to detonate the missiles at the base. And he was like, well, good thing they stopped you, because that would have been stupid.
Basically. Yeah, I mean, he says, well...
He goes on a diatribe about, like, loss of life.
Well, he goes... We were saved by the Gundams.
Yeah. It's very...
She's very confused. We're very confused.
This is where he gives his speech about how he needs his opponents to be strong?
No.
No? Is it later?
That is later. It's next episode.
Okay.
Because he's on a plane when he has...
We get on a monologues from Treize here.
We get some Treize here.
But yeah, he talks about, like, they don't want to kill extra people and... Oz's goals a little bit, and again, how, like, that was a stupid plan, Lady Une.
And he also says that Lady Une should learn more about the Oz organization.
He says you need to learn more about the Oz organization, which is like, well, she's second in command, so I think the only person who knows about the Oz organization is you, Treize. It's just
Which is just how Treize likes it.
It's fair. It's very...
So then we cut to Noin on a World War II era, like, German motorcycle.
Yeah, which is fun.
Yeah. It's a very scenic shot. It's a very cool shot.
Yeah, it's about to go full, like, Hell Rider. She's not. She's gonna get off the motorcycle. But.
Yeah, she's gonna say some, like, vaguely philosophical things. Not even that.
She's not even philosophical here. She just talks about
how, like...
Yeah.
She says, like, a nothing line, really.
Yeah.
Because then we cut to Zechs confronting the Alliance general at the base that Noin was overlooking, who is apparently...
Oh, yeah, she talks about how, like, they can't defeat the base or something.
No. They talk about... Because that's not it yet, because they're not even at that base yet.
No. She's at this base. She's like, oh, yeah, no, we can't, like, break into the... Or attack this base or whatever. Because Zechs specifically, like, sneaks in.
Well, yeah, he sneaks in, but, like, I thought I don't think that's what she said. Because they fly to a different base next episode.
That's where they get surprised by the lasers and stuff. No, that's not this base. This base is just like, yeah, there's a bunch of Alliance military defending it. No, we can't really attack it.
I don't think that's what she said. But... I also don't want to go back and watch the episode to find out now.
But anyway, yeah.
Zechs sneaks into this guy's office.
Yeah, and the guy is like, my defenses are impenetrable. Oh no, somebody snuck in. Zechs is like, unless somebody were to sneak in because your guards are lax. He's like, oh no, I'm being assassinated.
Yeah, because notably, this is the guy who led the attack.
Zechs explains this is the guy who led the attack on the Sank Kingdom. And not just led the attack, but, like, fabricated evidence that they were going to retaliate against Alliance moves, which they weren't gonna do because they're, like, literally the pacifism kingdom. It's nonsense. I mean, it's not nonsense. It's what this guy did, but, like.
If you don't know what the Saint Kingdom is, don't worry. It won't be elaborated on here.
No.
And it hasn't been... This is the first time they mention the name of the kingdom.
Yes, this is the first time they call it the Saint Kingdom.
You don't even know that the Peacecrafts are involved with this kingdom until...
Well, you do at the end of this scene.
At the end of this scene you do, but, like... Yeah, Zechs is very angry about this, by the way.
Yeah, he's extremely angry, and then...
Well, he gets heated.
Yeah, and then the guy is like... Oh my god, it's a Peacecraft. This is the first time.
It's not just a Peacecraft, it's Miliardo Peacecraft.
It's Miliardo Peacecraft.
Yeah, that is Zechs' real name, is Miliardo Peacecraft.
It is, which, again, how no one could tell that he's...
Because you'll see a picture in the next episode of his dad. He looks exactly like his dad, sans the wizard beard.
But yeah, this helmet thing has apparently kept him disguised. It's very Clark Kent. Hide the eyes.
They tested that Clark Kent theory, sort of. in real life with the guy with I don't know why I'm blanking on his name. He's like a big profile actor. He played Geralt in the Witcher series.
Yeah, with Henry Cavill.
Yeah, Henry Cavill. They tested that in Times Square in New York, where he just wore the glasses and like a normal outfit, and people didn't recognize him.
Yeah, I mean, the best evidence of that is Tony Hawk, right? Nobody recognizes Tony Hawk.
Nobody recognizes Tony Hawk. Which is weird because Tony Hawk is actually a pretty distinctive looking dude.
Right, but when he dresses in normal clothes and gets on a plane and isn't doing skateboard tricks, you just don't.
Yeah, you just don't notice him. Anyway, yeah, he shoots this guy with a very ornate gun.
Yep, it's a nice gun. Shoots him. Man's dead.
I think it's the only time he ever uses that gun, ever.
We now know... Well, we have because we kind of already got hints, but Zechs is a peacecraft. The Sank Kingdom was the peacecrafts. They're gonna...
This fictional nation that they don't mention where the Sank Kingdom ostensibly was located.
They don't. But... Well, it can't be that far away from where they are now.
No.
So it's in Africa somewhere?
I guess.
Because that's where they are currently.
Yeah, I don't know.
Whatever.
Near Nairobi?
Yeah, on the Mediterranean somewhere, at least. I mean, it looks like it's on the Mediterranean. So.
Yeah, it
might be in Spain.
Yeah, it might have been or Italy, maybe.
Maybe it's on Gibraltar.
Yeah, maybe they just gave them Gibraltar.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, maybe. We'll see more of the Sank Kingdom much later.
Yeah, we will.
Then we go back to Treize's fleet with call sign Big Nose.
Call sign Big Nose, which is not call sign. They're not.
Well, no, it's his radio designation.
Yeah.
Is Big Nose.
It's unclear if it's because Treize is not the one on the radio.
No,
Lady Un is the one on the radio.
Well, yeah,
they're talking to Lady Un's ship.
Lady Un's RTO is on the radio.
Yeah, but this is Lady Un's ship because Treize is on his weird cruise ship thing. She's on this carrier. Mm-hmm. And again, it's called Big Nose. It's unclear if the ship's designation is Big Nose, if whatever ship Lady Un is designated Big Nose.
But one of them is designated...
Or if Treize's fleet is designated Big Nose.
Yeah.
But one of them is definitely designated Big Nose. And that's great. And she does kind of have a pretty prominent nose. So maybe.
So, yeah, that might be. They notify her that 2 Alliance carriers are coming in. Well, actually, they don't even notify her directly. They notify, her XO. They're like, yo, hey, we got a couple Alliance carriers who are coming in.
Yeah, and he's like, all right, that's fine. They have Oz, IFFs or whatever.
Yeah.
Let them land.
And then Lady Un's like, wait a minute.
Where are they from? Oh, they're from New Edwards Base. You idiot. There's no friendlies at New Edwards Base.
You idiot. Everyone at New Edwards is... Well, almost everyone at New Edwards is dead.
Yeah, we explicitly tried to kill them all. No one there is our friend. And then the planes crash into the ships and reveal that they're full of Gundam.
Yep.
So, yay, this is Wu Fei and
Troa.
Troa attacking.
Yeah. So, Heavy Arms is busy tearing up this aircraft carrier.
Yeah, which is fine.
Wu Fei's tearing up other ships. He's looking for Treize in specific.
They send out the Leos. The Leos can't hit him. He kills the Leos.
Yeah. And then eventually they hit him with a Leo.
They do. They do hit him with a Leo. Not with a Leo's gun. With a Leo.
Literally, they load it onto the catapult on the catapult deck and just fling the Leo into the Heavy Arms to tackle it into the ocean.
Yes. Well, because she says specifically, push it into the sea where all of our cancers are.
Which
is good strategy, because the cancers are better underwater.
And notably, I mean, one of them sort of did a little bit of damage to a Gundam previously.
Yeah, so it's not a bad plan.
It's not a terrible
some
strategy.
Solid tactical thinking there.
It doesn't work.
There's a mention that he's wiped out 80% of our Leos or something.
Yeah.
In 3 seconds.
And it also makes sense because when you see Heavy Arms... You're like, oh, it uses all ballistic stuff.
Yeah.
Toss it into the sea where it can't use its ballistic stuff.
I mean, maybe that's debatable, but sure.
I I defy you to try and use a Gatling gun underwater to any great effect.
I mean, it's good. It's like a big cannon. It would work fine.
It would not work fine.
It would work just as well as any of these other things already work underwater.
I mean, that's fair.
Like these things shouldn't function underwater anyway. His guns are at no less of a doesn't function underwater than Duo's laser scythe.
Well, that's true. But Gundam has a grand history of its energy weapons just not working the way the energy weapons should.
Yeah. Anyway.
Anyhow, we it's also noted that Treize's ship is pulling away from the rest of the fleet.
Yes, it is. It's his response to his fleet being attacked is to abandon his escorts, which is just funny.
Yeah.
And then Lady Un has them like retrofit a Leo with like a jump pack
that temporarily at least gives it the maneuverability.
Yeah, they're like, it should have the maneuverability of an Ares now. She's like, cool.
And then she flies over to the other ship where
she like headbutts Wu Fei.
Yeah.
And then immediately discards her jump pack because it just kind of got her to the other ship. Maneuverability of an Ares is a bit. No, it just got her to the other ship. She slams into Wu Fei. They fight. He doesn't disrespect the fact that she's a woman this time.
No.
I mean, that was annoying last time, but I don't know.
Wu Fei being incredibly inconsistent as usual.
Yeah, he's less sexist with Lady Un than he is with Nguyen, so that's fun. But he still is kind of like, you shouldn't get so emotional, and then defeats her.
This is coming from Wu Fei, who we're going to see later on get very emotional.
And also, we haven't seen Lady Un get overly emotional.
No.
At any point.
No.
Like her emotionality is not what loses her this fight. It's the fact that he intercepts her sword arm, breaks it, and then is impervious to her punching him. That has nothing to do with her emotions.
No.
At all.
No.
And
he's about to land the killing blow on her when Treize's ship shows back up.
Yeah.
Pulls alongside.
Like, aha, my actual target.
Yeah, and he goes, I see. He wishes to fight me man to man.
Yeah.
And then hops over to Treize's ship.
Treize, like, challenges him.
Yeah, Treize basically gives him the, like, come at me, bro, with a sword.
So he does. He punches his, like, flamethrower fist into the, like, Treize's lavishly appointed cabin, and then gets out of his mech and, like, slides down the arm with a sword and is like, we're gonna duel. So they do. It's a pretty good sword fight. Treize wins
pretty handily, yeah. Like, he dumpsters.
Yeah, he doesn't... There's not really a back and forth. He just gets attacked a bunch, it riposts and wins. Has his sword to Wu Fei's neck.
Disarms Wu Fei, too, at one point.
Doesn't disarm him, just has his weapon to his neck. And is like, I win. And then Wu Fei is like, yeah, you do. Kill me. And he's like, nah. That was an honorably fought duel. I'm gonna let you go. And he's like, this sucks because I'm Wu Fei and weird.
And I'm gonna keep coming back after you.
He, like, throws his sword into the ground. He's like, yeah, if you let me live, I'm gonna keep coming after you forever. And Treize is like, sweet.
Cool.
Yeah.
Do it.
Sounds good. Get back on your mech. And then he gets back on his mech and walks into the sea. Literally just gets into the sea.
Yeah.
And Treize is alive. He had the opportunity, but he could have any point. He gets back in his mech. He could have just activated the flamethrower and killed Treize. Mm-hmm. He doesn't, though, because he's honorable, I guess.
Yeah.
And then this is where Treize explains to Lady Un that, like, it's good to have strong enemies because that will keep people on his side. Which is...
he goes into that in much further and more elaborate detail in the next episode. Because, again, that conversation happens on a plane, which we are not on.
No, this is definitely where she's like, why'd you let him live?
Yeah, no, well, he that's when he says this was an honorably fought duel.
No, he says that to Wu Fei.
No, he says that to Un, too. Because he explains in the next episode Oz's, like, overarching goal. Or at least his overarching goal with Oz. Which is the strong enemies thing. He might have mentioned part of it here, but he goes into greater elaborate detail. Well, then what do they discuss in the plane next episode?
They don't.
They do.
Not that.
They discuss something in that plane. What do they discuss in that next episode?
I don't know, but it's not that. This is absolutely where he talks about having strong enemies. Because he's explaining why he let Wu Fei live.
Yes, but, like, there's that. But, like, I'm saying he does say that. I'm not saying he doesn't say that. Because I don't remember exactly what he says. But he does elaborate on that further.
Sure.
Because he later on in the next episode, I'm jumping way ahead here. Mainly just because that's where the discussion has gone. And we're going to get to it anyway later in this episode. So, Oz's overarching goal, his overarching goal at least, with Oz, is to become the enemy of Earth, to unite them all against him.
Yes. Correct.
Yes. That's what he says in the plane later. Next episode.
Sure.
Which is elaborating further on the strong enemies thing that he starts on here.
That's not really the same thing. This is where he
yeah,
because this is where he talks about needing to have strong enemies.
Yeah.
So that, like, his people don't have nothing to do.
Which yeah.
Which is very different from I'm gonna become the enemy of Earth so that they will all unite. He mentioned
strong enemies during that because he's gonna be the Earth's strong enemy is his idea.
Sure.
I thought that was what you were alluding to. I guess I was wrong.
No, I'm alluding to the fact that he's a fascist.
I mean, he is.
He sure is. Because he wants to have an enemy to fight so that he can blame that enemy for stuff. Like, classic fascist ideology.
Yeah, I mean, why would he throw away his perfect patsies, the Gundam Pilots?
Right, exactly. That's what he's used them for the entire time, and yeah, killing one would, like, he actually needs them to seem undefeatable. That's part of how he maintains his power.
That is part of how, and he will go on to use it to great effect later, too.
Yeah, which is ironic, because they've been made to fight him, and they're doing just the worst job of it.
Well, this is what happens when you send a bunch of teenagers with no understanding of geopolitical...
Yeah. It's also what happens when you just, like, try to use your secret super weapon on people. Like, turns out people don't respond well to secret super weapons.
No, they don't. So
that's the end of the episode.
Yeah, that's the end of the episode. That takes us pretty neatly into the next episode because it kind of flows on from there, really. Where Zechs and the lads are at a command center. This is a command center that they've set up overlooking the Sank Kingdom.
Yes.
And they think they've got this pretty well in hand. Notably, this is when Otto shows up with the tall geese.
Yes. Otto arrives with the tall geese. And
Otto is very injured.
He is. He's a little beat up.
He has cracked ribs and internal injuries.
Yeah. Which are, I guess, unfixable. Unclear.
Unclear.
Because he took the tall geese out for, like, a test flight, and it hurt him. More on that later.
Yeah, there's a lot to unpack with that one. Notably, the tall geese is 3 times faster than an Ares.
Specifically 3 times faster than an Ares. So we've gone...
We finally hit full Gundam.
Yeah, we are. We are 3 times faster than an ordinary Saku.
Yep. And there's a little bit of back and forth about the tall geese. Not much. It's a lot of kind of fluff about the tall geese, really.
Yeah. It's a Gundam. We're going to use it to defeat the other Gundams. Sounds good.
Yeah, then we cut to a school basketball game.
Yep, sure do.
Where there seems to be only 3 people on one team and like 8 people on the other team on the court.
Which is apparently a well-deserved handicap.
Because Hiro and Duo are just dumpstering these guys. Apparently.
Really good at basketball.
I mean, we only see like one play. We see Duo pass it to Hiro.
We also see the scoreboard, though.
Yeah, where...
It's like... it wasn't nothing, but it's like some very low number to like 101.
Yeah.
Which is... Look, this is not like a sanctioned NBA game, right? This is like a pickup game on the...
Well, it's not a pickup.
Well, it's not quite a pickup game because they have uniforms and stuff, but
it's like... it's like an intramural game.
Yeah. If you've ever played intramural basketball, one team scoring 101 points is like severely dunking on the other team. Literally.
Yeah.
Right. Like, you are making fun of them by continuing to score points.
And Hiro just, puts the, icing on the cake by ooping to himself, by tossing it off the backboard, catching it in midair, and dunking it.
Yeah, which is like, okay, bro.
Hiro's not a tall guy.
No, he's not.
He's got serious ups, though.
Well, I mean, yeah, he's superhuman.
I mean, that's true. Duo is unfazed by this.
You can't even foul him because he's, just he regenerates. Well, what are you going to
do? I imagine his, body density is such that you can't even knock him over.
He's got more muscle density than an adult man.
Which, it's crazy, because then he shouldn't have been floating in that one episode where he was floating face down in the water. I mean, saltwater can hold more than... But I've been in both freshwater and saltwater, and I have a very slightly, not even that much, higher bone and muscle density than most people, and I sink like a rock. I can't float.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that water was extra salty.
Yeah.
Maybe that was on the Dead Sea. Duo's Dead Sea marine base.
Dead Sea outer heaven. Oh no!
What? That's how his base floats too. We had to put it in the Dead Sea. We designed it in space. We didn't realize what the actual how buoyancy worked. We did the calculations wrong.
Anyway, yeah. So, Relina shows up after this basketball game.
Sure does.
And Duo's just like...
She's like, I wanted to see you, Hiro. And Duo's like, wow, she's weird.
Basically, yeah. He's now kind of just accepted the fact that Relina is a weirdo.
Yeah, he comments on her wanting to see the guy who threatened to kill her. And that's it. The scene cuts.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
Yeah, we just had, cut to a different anime for a second there. Now we're back to Gundam as they're attacking the Saint Kingdom.
Yep. Which is going well until the base reveals its secret laser turrets.
Its hidden pop-up turrets.
Which no one knew about for some reason. This is because they were all part of the same military until very recently. Yeah. So I don't know why nobody knew that this base had secret laser turrets.
Yeah, because you'd think if anyone's bases were going to have the secret laser turrets, it'd be Oz's bases.
Well, and it's not that every base has secret laser turrets, because then they would know.
Yeah, just the Saint Kingdom's base.
This base has secret laser turrets that pop up and proceed to kill.
All of the lads who are present except Noin.
And
who
then
ditches her missile launcher as a kind of decoy, right, I
guess. Or just to be lighter. I don't know.
Yeah, probably to be lighter.
And Zechs is piloting the tall geese and is being harmed by doing so.
Not yet.
Yes, he is.
Not yet. He will, but it's after Noin starts retreating. Because notably, Noin and Zechs have a conversation in the air.
Yes.
About how Noin's like, we can win if we just press the attack more, and Zechs goes, no, we should retreat. And then Zechs goes, wait, why am I retreating? I'm in what is basically a Gundam. Then he proceeds to hurt himself with the tall geese.
Well, he's already been, struggling with the tall geese. That's true. Right? Because he has this very weird line read where he's, vibrating.
Well, that's when he goes full throttle and after this scene. Not after.
No,
this
he
scene.
flies it the whole time because the whole thing is it doesn't have a medium throttle.
No, it does. He just doesn't use it after this point.
He specifically every time they show him flying forward in the tall geese, he's like.
Well, yeah, but they don't show him flying forward until now.
But yeah, he's basically this mech could win, but also it would kill me.
Yeah.
And so then he doesn't. They leave.
Yeah.
He like tries. He makes
blood.
a bit of an attack, and he like cuts it off halfway through. He's like, no, I could destroy their headquarters, but I would die in the process because the Tallgeese would kill me.
It's unclear why the Tallgeese is so hard on its pilots.
Yeah, well, he will explain why, but
in very like vague terms, though.
Yeah, it either again his explanation is that it doesn't respond to the like commands of its pilot. It like does things on its own, and those things are like
analyzes
harmful.
It analyzes attack patterns and comes up with the best path for victory.
Yeah, and the way he describes it's like it has some sort of AI, which maybe, or it just has like an overly sensitive fly-by-wire system. It's one of the two.
Yeah.
Either way, it seems that the reason it hurts its pilot is that it performs maneuvers at higher Gs than their body can take. That seems to be what's wrong with it.
Yeah.
It just flies. It accelerates. It doesn't even flies too fast. It accelerates too fast.
Mm-hmm.
And in weird directions, right? Like it throws you around.
Yeah, and it does show. Yeah, it'll throw you around,
which is why you get your ribs broken and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hence the broken ribs and internal injuries.
Yeah. Which Zechs now also has.
So then that's when we cut to Trazen on the plane, and we have that conversation that we expanded upon earlier.
Yeah.
About how Traze wants to essentially become the enemy of the world, but also for two reasons. One, because it will keep Oz strong, because they will always have enemies, and it will keep the world strong because they're all united against him.
Where is it that we get Zechs and Noin's conversation about what Zechs thinks Oz's goal is?
That's later. It's a little bit later.
Okay.
Because they talk about the nature of... It's the conversation they have right before...
I thought that was before Zechs got injured.
It might have been.
He's not injured during that conversation.
Yeah, I might have missed that conversation. I think it was while they were in the base looking over the Sand Kingdom before Otto arrived.
Because what Zechs thinks the goal of the Oz organization is to liberate all of the nations of Earth from the Alliance.
This is before Otto arrived in the Tallgeese.
Yeah, because he thinks that basically the nations of Earth chose wrong by unifying into the... Not unifying, but like
creating the UN peacekeeping force on roids.
Yeah, he thinks... Yeah, basically they were wrong to do that, and they're going to get to they're going to get to choose again, right? It's like an EU referendum. You made the wrong choice, please vote again.
It's a particularly violent EU referendum.
Yeah. And yeah, so he basically thinks they're going to liberate every nation from
the Earth
Alliance control.
Yeah.
And then once they're not under Alliance control, they can all once again decide whether or not to form an alliance.
Or what to do with their nation.
Yeah, what to do with their nation. Yeah. The point is, he thinks they're liberating people.
He thinks they're giving nations their self-determination back.
Yes, that's what he thinks.
That is not what Trace thinks.
It's also not clear that the Alliance had ever taken away their self-determination.
No, it's not.
I mean, it took away one kingdom's self-determination by destroying it. And that's what Zechs is really mad about. Mm-hmm. But, yeah.
Yeah, and it makes sense that Zechs would have like a kind of myopic view of this.
Well, this is kind of what Trace has told him, right? This is how Trace got him on board with Oz. Mm-hmm. Clearly, and this is not what Trace's actual plan is.
No.
We're starting to see some divisions in Oz. We've already seen a little bit of division in Oz.
We're going to see a lot more Oz in fighting.
Noin is clearly very tenuously on board with Oz, right? Mm-hmm. Every time they go to do something, Zechs has to ask her, like, are you okay with doing this? And every time she's like, yeah, I guess so.
Then later on expresses doubts that they're doing this.
So, as with many coups, not everyone's on board for the same reasons, and a lot of people are like, wait, that's our goal? It's not
That's not unusual. No, I don't mean to say it is. I'm more highlighting the fact that, like many coups. They're not as unified as you would first think.
Yeah. They're all agreed that there should be a coup, but they have very different ideas about what should happen afterwards. Basically, what I'm saying is that Zechs Marquis is the Leon Trotsky of Oz.
Yeah, he kind of is. He kind of is. Except he's like, well, he kind of does get sent to Siberia later too.
Mexico.
No,
Trotsky flees to Mexico.
Oh, that's right. I forgot that fled too.
But yeah.
Well, he gets sent to but Zechs gets sent to Siberia later.
Yes, Zechs gets sent to Siberia.
Well, actually, Alaska, which is just American Siberia.
It's American Siberia.
That's where we send all of our political dissidents as well.
I mean, maybe we should.
Move Guantanamo Bay to Alaska.
To Nome, Alaska.
Yeah.
That wouldn't be problematic.
No, not at all.
Yeah, we no longer need to confine the prisoners because it's like Rurapente from Star Trek. We don't have any walls because all that's around us is ice. What are you gonna do? Leave? You'll freeze to death.
Your tunnel freeze before it hits the first marker.
Your tunnel freeze before it hits the first marker.
All right, so we cut then to the Mogwanaut Corps.
Yep.
After Trey's and Un's conversation,
we're really mad that Tetra left alone.
Yeah.
Because they're supposed to defend him. They're his 40 thieves.
Well, and they notably say, what would we say to your dad if you got hurt and we weren't there? You asshole.
Right. Like, our job is to protect you. It's literally like, we'd be in so much trouble.
It's what your dad pays us to do?
Yeah. And also, you need to trust us to be able to do our jobs.
Yeah.
And Ketra's like, sure, I won't leave by myself again, which is a lie. It's just a lie.
Then we cut to the circus with a very sad Wu Fei and a very normally stoic as usual Troa.
Troa apparently fished Wu Fei and his mech out of the ocean, off screen. Mm-hmm. And they're sitting around a fire, and Circus Chick brings them some soup.
And we know Wu Fei's out of sorts because he doesn't say anything sexist here.
That's true. He doesn't say anything at all.
No.
He's so defeated he can't even be sexist. And
don't worry, he'll have enough energy to be. Yeah,
she has a lot of dialogue because neither of them is talking. They are stoically receiving dialogue.
As they stare
they stare into the fire, right? And she just is can't take a hint.
No.
Well, that kind of does take a hint, though, right? Leaves the soup. Almost has a, okay, I get it. You don't want to let me see you eat soup.
Yeah.
And, leaves the soup and is I guess quiet guys attract more quiet guys. And it's just, sure, whatever. And then, after she's gone, they're, they would not speak in the presence of a woman.
Well, maybe not in the presence of Catherine.
Yeah, maybe not that woman, to be fair. That's Troa knows her. I wouldn't say things in front of her either.
No.
But he offers him a cup of coffee, and he's like, thanks.
Thank you.
And then,
that's the scene.
That's it. That's the scene.
The scene.
It's.
He goes, it's not the best coffee.
Yeah, he says it's not the best Java.
That's the best Java, yeah.
Which you tell us is dubbed in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
And then we go back to the show we actually want to watch.
Yeah, and then we go back to Otto overhearing a conversation.
Yeah, this is where Zechs talks about why the tall geese is such a pain to pilot. Mm-hmm. What's sort of wrong with it is the wrong word. Because it's not a bug, it's a feature.
Yeah.
But yeah, it makes its own tactical plans, and again, just doesn't take into account. Oh, that's the thing he says in the attack is he's like, this Gundam may be invincible, but it has one weakness: its pilot is human.
Yeah. Its pilot is a human being.
It seems, as far as I can tell, it makes its own, like, battle plans and just doesn't take into account the fact that, like,
there's
doing a 180 thrust maneuver here will flatten its pilot.
Yeah.
Right? It just does not...
pilot.
It does not care that its pilot has, like, flesh organs.
It does not care for the meat bag.
Yeah, right. And, you know, that is kind of a design flaw. Maybe it should take into account the thing that will disable it if it does it too much. Mm-hmm. But whatever.
But Otto hears all this.
Yeah, Otto hears all this and is like, the tall geese is for suicide missions. I understand. And then runs off and takes the tall geese to go attack the Sand Kingdom.
On a suicide mission.
He's like, I get it. I understand. I'm going to go on a suicide mission. And then they call him and they're like, Otto, what are you doing? It'll kill you. And he's like, I know. I'm proud to die for you, sir.
Long live King Zechs.
Yeah, long live King Zechs, basically.
He literally says that.
Yeah. Well, he says specifically he wants to die for Zechs instead of Oz.
Yeah, notably, yeah. This is where we see that, like, Zechs' lads are with Zechs.
Yeah, his people are loyal to him, which will be relevant. And, yeah, then he proceeds to do that. He successfully, like, penetrates the enemy defenses and explodes?
It's unclear, because we just see
There's a gigantic explosion that wipes out the base. Well, it wipes out all the defenders. The base is actually remarkably intact.
Yeah,
but everyone in it is dead.
Geese.
And the tall geese is also intact. The tall geese didn't, like, detonate. But something exploded. Maybe they had a large missile on base.
Maybe. Just one, though. Otherwise, it would have been a 300-kilometer...
Just the one large missile. But yeah, so... The point is they win. Like Otto is dead, but the base is defeated.
Yeah.
Tall geese did. I mean, Otto was correct. And then Zechs returns home to his kingdom and talks to a painting of his father, who he asks forgiveness from.
Yeah, which then... Well, that actually happens after we get Relina talking to a picture of her father.
Oh, right. Yeah, we had a parallel.
Justifying how she has this crush on this dreamy boy who wants to kill her.
Yes. She's like, I need him in my life to replace you, Dad.
But he keeps running away from me.
I don't even want to unpack that. That's a thing.
Yeah.
But
Relina has psychological issues.
There's if you've ever heard the thing about, like, when a girl has daddy issues, figure out what cologne her father wears. Like, that's Relina.
Yeah.
And okay, let's just move on.
And it moves swiftly because that's when it goes to Zechs.
Yeah, look at Zechs. He walks into his ruined kingdom and gazes upon a portrait of his father and asks his forgiveness for, I mean, in no way upholding the values of his father.
Correct.
Like, even slightly. He's on, like, a quest for vengeance, which his father would explicitly disapprove of. Mm-hmm. But okay.
There's also, in this episode, Hiro and Duo, like, go...
they go blow up a base.
Yeah,
whatever.
They go blow up a base. It's fun. It's a thing.
Well, it surprises her. While Relina is talking to the picture of her father, that's when the base explodes.
Right, yes.
Because the base is out her window.
And she
which is also weird.
Yeah, and she does make the correct assertion that,
it's Hiro.
Yeah, something went boom. Hiro must have been involved.
Yeah.
So, she's learning.
But yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I mean...
That's the episode. We got some exposition, we got some action. Pretty good episodes.
Yeah, definitely not as bad as some of the pre-episode 7 exposition episodes.
Yeah. We're mostly done with the expedition dumps. This came up, in this episode. This show has this weird issue with, like, ruining otherwise good lines by, like, inserting commentary exposition.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, I think it's when Zechs shoots the base commander, he refers to his father, but he, like, explains who his father was in the middle of the line.
Well, that line, so, because he is basically declaring himself dead in that line.
Yeah.
Because he says, "Rest in peace, the outraged and betrayed Milliardo Peacecraft."
Right. But, I don't know, it just...
It does not scan well.
Yeah, the line read doesn't sound good because he inserts that, like, outraged and betrayed bit in the middle.
I think they literally added that bit to match lip flaps.
Maybe. That's entirely possible. But it just doesn't sound good. And this is not the only time the show does that, right?
No, it will continue to do that.
One of the lines from Raylena's father was also really, really bad.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, when he's like, "Yeah, you're a member of the Peacecraft family, that family that was so known for being peaceful or whatever,
or like for being totally devoted to total pacifism." Yeah,
and it's just like, that doesn't sound good.
It doesn't scan well.
Yeah, it's just like nobody talks like that.
Yeah. It is very much a nobody talks like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's it for episodes 8 and 9.
Yeah.
We'll start things off with episode 10. We'll be officially 1/5 of the way through this.
We sure will be.
Yeah. Until next time. Peace.
See ya.